The One State, a complete unified framework of universal mechanics. The Universal Fluid Architecture, Version 2. The greatest error of modern science is treating the universe as separable components. They study gravity without the energy field. They analyze atoms without understanding galaxies. They dissect the heart without examining the blood. This framework rejects compartmentalization entirely. The universe is not a collection of separate laws. It is a single, flowing system, a universal fluid where every phenomenon, from quantum particles to galactic superclusters, operates on identical mechanics at different scales. This document presents the one state, the recognition that suction and displacement are not separate from each other. Matter and energy are not separate from the field. Life and consciousness are not separate from universal mechanics. Technology and cosmology are not separate domains. Everything is happening simultaneously as one singular continuous flow. The core revelation: the universe exists within an infinite energy field, a pressurized ocean of pure potential energy. What we perceive as separate forces, gravity, electromagnetism, nuclear forces, are all manifestations of pressure differentials and energy displacement within this single substrate. Every phenomenon in existence follows three fundamental mechanics: pressure, the infinite energy field, which is the substrate; suction, core vortex formation, which is the intake; and displacement, energy exhaust, which is the output. One equation governs everything. E displaced equals E expanded. This single equation governs atoms, planets, stars, galaxies, black holes, consciousness, and propulsion systems. Part 1. The Universal Fluid Foundation. Primary postulate: reality is not empty space with occasional matter. Reality is an infinite pressurized energy field with localized density variations. Think of existence as an ocean. We are not separate from the water. We are patterns of flow within it. The infinite energy field has infinite extent, no boundaries, no edges. It is eternal. It contains high energy density, the theoretical vacuum energy predicted by quantum mechanics. It is uniform at cosmic scales, like water pressure at ocean depths. And its energy is continuously available. It can be extracted without depleting the source, just as scooping water from an infinite ocean doesn't empty it. The pressure drives everything. All motion, all force, all structure emerges from pressure differentials in this field. The universe operates not by mysterious laws, but as hydraulic plumbing. Think of a dam. The reservoir is the infinite energy field, the pressurized source. The intake is core suction and black holes, where energy enters. The turbine is the vortex spin, where flow converts to rotation. The transmission is entanglement pipelines, instant energy transport. And the outlet is expansion, where displaced energy emerges. Change the intake pressure, it affects turbine rotation, which affects outlet expansion. This is the one state operating at every scale. What science calls gravity is actually pressure-driven suction. A rotating core, dense matter spinning, creates friction with the infinite energy field. This draws energy inward, forming a low-pressure zone. The surrounding high-pressure field then pushes objects toward that low-pressure zone. Newton said mass mysteriously attracts mass. Einstein said mass curves space-time. The one state says rotating cores create pressure differentials, and the field pushes objects together. Same math, completely different physics. Vortex equilibrium. Every stable structure exists where inward suction balances outward centrifugal force. This explains planetary ring systems where particles exist at the equilibrium radius. It explains galactic spiral arms where stars rest at equilibrium distances. It explains atomic orbital shells where electrons exist at pressure balance. Planets are spherical because vortex equilibrium produces radial symmetry. Energy displacement, the universal conservation law. Energy consumed by any intake point must be displaced elsewhere. E displaced equals E expanded. This is not optional. It is the fundamental conservation principle of the one state. For black holes, matter crosses the event horizon as intake. Energy is processed through compression. Then it must exit, displaced at expansion boundaries or new spacetime pockets. For living cells, nutrients are consumed as intake. Energy is processed through cellular machinery as compression. Information, heat, and consciousness are displaced as exhaust through neural activity. Same mechanics, different scales. Magnetism is not a separate force. It is the exhaust signature of rotation through the field. When any object spins through the infinite energy field, that rotation creates friction with the field substrate. This friction manifests as electromagnetic effects. Faster spin equals a stronger magnetic signature. Quantum entanglement doesn't violate locality. It uses shortcuts through the field. When particles become entangled, a high-energy interaction creates a microscopic tunnel in field topology. These particles remain connected through this pipeline, regardless of three-dimensional separation. Changes propagate through the shortcut, not through intervening space. Imagine two cities separated by mountains. Traveling over the mountains takes hours. A tunnel through the mountain creates an instant connection. The tunnel doesn't violate speed limits, it's just a shorter path. That is quantum entanglement. Part 2. Cosmological Applications, the Great Cycle. The Big Bang wasn't the beginning of everything, it was the beginning of our local pocket. The infinite energy field is eternal. When energy density in one region reaches a critical value, quantum fluctuations trigger an expansion. A localized explosion converts energy to matter and radiation within that specific pocket. The pocket expands but remains bounded within the larger infinite energy field. Time exists continuously in the field. The Big Bang is a phase transition in one region, like water freezing in one section of a lake while the rest remains liquid. Standard cosmology requires 85% invisible dark matter to explain galaxy rotation. The one state requires only observable phenomena. The central supermassive black hole provides enormous suction. Each star contributes its own suction. Billions of stars create a cumulative distributed field, a network of suction points. This naturally produces flat rotation curves without any invisible matter. Current physics says mysterious dark energy drives accelerating expansion. The one state says black holes are universal regulators. As matter falls into black holes, that energy gets displaced through entanglement tunnels, emerging at the universe's boundaries, pushing them outward. As the universe ages, galaxies merge, black holes merge, and larger black holes form, accreting more matter, displacing more energy, driving faster expansion. Estimated total black hole mass in the observable universe 10 to the 9th solar masses. Average accretion rate 0.05 solar masses per year per black hole. The energy displacement rate equals approximately 10 to the 54th joules per year. The universe expansion energy requirement from observations also 10 to the 54th joules per year. The numbers match. No dark energy needed. Part 3. The MHD Suction Drive, Engineering the One State. Unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, exhibit behaviors that violate current physics. Instantaneous acceleration of over 100 g-forces with no sonic boom. Transmedium operation, moving seamlessly from air to water. No visible propulsion system. Intense electromagnetic interference. The one state explains every one of these characteristics. The craft creates a pressure bubble. Air and water molecules are smoothly displaced by a pressure gradient. No sharp discontinuity means no sonic boom. The craft and everything inside fall together through the gradient. No differential g-forces to crush occupants. The suction field affects all molecules, regardless of medium. Not pushing against anything, but creating a pressure differential in the field itself. Falling through a self-generated gradient, no exhaust needed. And the high-speed spinning plasma creates intense electromagnetic signatures, explaining every reported instrument interference. The MHD suction drive uses a toroidal, donut-shaped plasma confinement system, a plasma ring spinning at 100,000 radians per second, temperature 10 million Kelvin. This creates a localized suction field, bending the infinite energy field around the craft and pulling it in any chosen direction. The vacuum catastrophe, the greatest failure in physics history, is also resolved here. Quantum field theory predicts vacuum energy density 10 to the 120th power times larger than observed. The MHD answer? They're measuring a reservoir and trying to calculate it as flow. The energy isn't missing, it's actively circulating through the universal pump, through atomic cores, stellar cores, galactic black holes, and biological cell metabolism across the universe. Net available pressure equals total reservoir minus active circulation. The cosmological constant is explained. Life is not an accident in an indifferent universe. Life is the universe's most sophisticated vortex structure, a biovortex. Every living cell follows the same intake, compression, exhaust mechanics that govern stars and galaxies. Nutrients are consumed as intake. ATP synthesis is the compression. Neural activity, heat, and consciousness are the exhaust displacement. Consciousness itself emerges from this process, not as a mysterious epiphenomenon, but as organized information displacement within biovortex systems. The brain is a biological MHD device. Neurons are bioplasma channels. Thought is field resonance. Memory is encoded in persistent field patterns within neural topology. This framework does not merely explain the universe, it changes what is possible for civilization. Dark matter, unnecessary. Dark energy, unnecessary. Quantum mystery, resolved. Propulsion limitations, overcome. Fusion difficulty, solved. Resource scarcity, obsolete. We stand at the threshold of becoming a Type 1 civilization, one that fully harnesses the infinite energy field. A worthy civilization that understands it is not separate from the universe, but a pattern of flow within it. The one state is not a theory about the universe from the outside. It is the recognition that we are the universe, observing itself, organizing itself, and finally understanding itself. E displaced equals E expanded. Pressure, suction, displacement. One equation, one field, one state. This has been the One State, a complete unified framework of universal mechanics. End of presentation.